Logic, the Art of Arts, an introduction to Aristotle's Organon and the Studium approach. The classical Trivium was not a schema of cognitive development for children, but rather a sequence of arts studied to the point of mastery, in the proper order, since competence in these arts is foundational to all that follows, the exploration of sciences and the pursuit of wisdom. Grammar was studied first, and typically exclusively, until a child was old enough to undertake the rigorous training in dialectic, rhetoric, and the sciences. The goal of all this was to build a solid foundation of careful mastery of language before all else. Although syntax was an important part of this grammar training, it was traditionally much more exhaustive than what we tend to think of as grammar, which nowadays mostly just refers to syntax. It included orthography, which teaches proper spelling and excellent penmanship, and etymology, which teaches the origins and comprehensive meanings of words. Additionally, St. Isidore lists 28 other components of grammar, including things like accent, punctuation, analogy, glosses, differentiation, schemes, tropes, prose, meter, tales, and histories. These comprise the bulk of what is typically considered elementary education. This elementary education is concerned with pre-scientific knowledge, the linguistic structures, which are the symbolic language of thought, facts and knowledge gained from sense experience, and the rudimentary laws and principles that the young intellect derives from these. With guidance, an elementary student can begin to order this pre-scientific knowledge into the 10 Aristotelian categories that will be the basis of the formal education: substance, quantity, relatives, quality, place, time, position, condition, action, and affection. This training is the basis for the study of reasoning, which is called the art of arts. Reasoning, also named logic and dialectic, is called the art of arts since every other science and art depends upon it. Reason is the tool by which true and certain knowledge is attained, and logic is the science by which we learn how to properly use reason. It enjoys a primacy of place, because one needs to know how to use a tool before he actually starts to use it. So before we start applying reason to any particular field, be it physics or geometry or even literature, we first learn how to use it. The goal of such an education, as St. Thomas put it, is to equip the young properly for scientific inquiry. We must distinguish here that science is simply the Latin word for knowledge, and its classical use refers to the true understanding of any particular thing through its causes. So, for example, the scientific study of history approaches chronological events through the relationship between cause and effect. Some such effects are necessary by nature of the cause, while others are not. When history is studied in this way, looking to how non-necessary effects come to be and how things might have been otherwise, a more true and profitable understanding of history may be gained than merely the bare enumeration of facts and dates. In this way, the adage, "Those who are ignorant of history are doomed to repeat it," is shown to be correct, for the ignorance lies not in a lack of familiarity with facts and dates, but rather with an inability to see how ideas and actions propel cause and effect through time, according to human nature. The process of the intellect reasoning through the causes of existing things produces speculative science. When the intellect reasons through the needful causes to bring something into existence, this produces practical science. When the intellect, by understanding of causes, directs the creation of these external works by right order, it produces art. In all such things, it is evident that logical formation of the intellect by the surest methods is invaluable to true education and will equip a young person for any pursuit. All of reality exists in a natural order, and when the intellectual training follows this natural perfection, progressing from sense knowledge of the world around us to the highest metaphysical truths, every science and endeavor of humankind finds its place within a coherent structure of intelligibility. In practice, one might think of any human endeavor or scientific investigation as a complicated game or interaction, like playing rugby or driving a car through town. By neglecting the priority of logic and the natural order of laws and principles, a modern trivia, so-called, based education, where delivering lists of facts for regurgitation and pre-selected multiple-choice options constitutes the sum total of pedagogy, a child is like someone placed on a rugby field without any knowledge of the game, or put in the driver's seat of a car in a busy city without any knowledge of traffic laws or the operation of a car. The teacher might tell them that that's a ball, that's a scrum, that's a trizone, or again, that's a red light, that's a steering wheel, that's a lane. But the child will have a brutal, accident-fraught experience of learning how to actually do these things. If, on the other hand, the child learns the rules of the game, the strategies and the plays, the rules of the road, the techniques of driving, etc., first, their experience will be totally different. And so it is with classical education and the preliminary focus on logic. The methodology may seem foreign and uncomfortable to the modern mind, but this is the means by which the wisest and most intellectually astute people in history have acquired their truly scientific minds. And this is what we aim for as well, both for our children and for ourselves.